Hi there, it's Rich here with a quick verdict on the last 12 months of running my Mark 1 Audi TT 3.2 V6. In the past year I've done lots of stuff. Early morning commutes, long motorway drives, urban and rural driving, and even a 3-month spell off the road while I drove some of my other cars. 5,000 varied miles of everything you could chuck at it, and never once did it let me down. One service and a liking for super unleaded was all it needed. No oil, no coolant, not even air in the tyres. It needed for nothing. So what a great story to running of the car. But I did have a few issues along the way. The biggest was the Mark 1 was based on the Mark 4 Golf. Not the most dynamic of cars. Not a bad car, but not a great basis for a hot sports car. And as a result, the whole driver experience was just a big disappointment. A letdown. The ride was just too firm. The steering didn't offer any type of feedback, and you could never push the car too hard, otherwise it would just understeer, and ultimately that lack of connection with the road affected you pushing the limit, too often leading me to drive at 8/10 of the time. Think of it as a GT rather than an out-and-out sports car. And then there were just too many made. Even now, as early Mark 1s push past 20 years old, they are still too common. Too many to become rare. Too many to become desirable. Too many to feel that special. And because of the numbers built, values are rock bottom. Surely that's good for any potential second-hand buyers like us. Well, hold on there, not necessarily so, because cheaper cars fall into the hands of owners that perhaps don't care for their cars as much as we do. And as a result, maintenance is ignored, faults accepted, modifications just too easy. And this leads to condition and reliability suffering. With that comes a game of buyers Russian roulette to find the good, solid, unmolested Mark 1s. In my experience, not the easiest or quickest of tasks. And then there's the Quattro. Is this the biggest con ever? Yes, it's Quattro alright, when you're slipping and sliding around in the mud or in the snow. And I'm sure it'll be fun all the way. But how many of us do that? We don't. We sit there driving these cars at 8/10 with the engine driving the front wheels and pulling the car through the corners. Not exactly what I'd hoped for when buying a Quattro. So there you are. You must be sat there thinking I hate this car. But you'd be wrong. Because I loved it. For 3 reasons. Firstly, the engine. It's a beauty. It pulls in any gear, at any revs, and the sound is truly awesome. I'm sure that it puts many Alpha V6s to shame. Secondly, the DSG gearbox. What? I hear you scream. Have I gone mad? No. I've yet to drive another type of semi-automatic gearbox that's over 10 years old that is this sweet. It's a revelation for the 6-cylinder V6 and is the perfect partner. It makes rapid gear changes that really questions why you'd ever wanted manual in the first place. And thirdly, because of the way it looks. This car was a revelation 25 years ago when it was first shown at a concept and has aged beautifully ever since. And if you think the outside looks great, the inside looks even better. It's very difficult to fault inside, other than the heated seats get too hot and there's a lack of cup holders. But that really is it. So there we have it. A car that's far from perfect. A car that has many flaws, but still found a place in my heart for all its faults. Whether it will ever be a true classic, only time will tell. But a car that looks this good has to be with a fighting chance.